Empty time is a gift, not a problem to solve, not a gap to fill, not something to rescue your child from. A gift. I want to show you exactly what I mean. We recently missed our flight home. Suddenly, we found ourselves stranded in an airport with 3 boys, 8 and under, and 6 hours to kill. 3 boys who cannot sit still, who are used to being outside all day, who don't have tablets, phones, smartwatches, or video games. After a while, after the boredom settled in and nobody came to rescue them from it, I looked behind me. My sons had invented a game, a water bottle flipping contest. They were laughing, competing, completely absorbed in something they had created out of absolutely nothing. They didn't look for screens, they didn't ask to watch anything, they didn't throw a tantrum over being bored. They just figured it out. Walk into any public place today and you will see it everywhere. Toddlers and strollers with tablets strapped inches away from their faces. Teenagers sitting on park benches together, every face buried in a screen, completely isolated from a person sitting next to them. We have raised a generation that cannot tolerate 60 seconds of quiet, not because it's their fault. It's because we never let them practice. When a child has nothing to do and nobody rushes to fill that space, their brain does not switch off. It switches on. Brain imaging studies show that boredom activates a network in the brain responsible for imagination, creativity, and memory. Scientists call it the default mode network, and it is most active, most critical during childhood. What looks like your child doing nothing is actually their brain doing everything. Dr. Sandy Mann, one of the world's leading researchers on boredom, found that it literally forces the brain to seek out creative solutions. The wandering mind is not a wasted mind. It is an inventing one. But every time we hand them a screen the moment they fidget, we tell their brain, you don't need to figure this out. Here, let someone else think for you. But I want to say something important. When I talk about empty time, I'm not only talking about screens. I'm also talking about overscheduling. A child who goes from school to football to piano to dinner to homework and then to bed, that child's brain never gets to switch on. And the brain that never switches on never truly rests, never truly creates, and never truly discovers what it is capable of. Empty time is not what happens when you run out of things to schedule. It's actually the most important thing on the schedule. This morning, I walked into the living room and found my eldest and my youngest sitting on the couch together, reading. Nobody organized that. Nobody suggested it. Nobody was there to facilitate the moment. They just found each other in the quiet. And earlier, my toddler had lined up all the caps from his markers and was moving them around the floor like pieces in a game he invented himself. A game that exists nowhere except in his imagination. I stood there watching and thought, what would this morning have looked like if they had sat in front of a screen from the moment they woke up? They wouldn't be creating something from nothing. They wouldn't be sitting together choosing to read. They wouldn't be working through the small frustrations of playing alone and figuring it out. As my boys got older, their boredom got louder. They would come to me and say, Mom, I'm bored, there's nothing to do, and still, I wouldn't fix it. I would look at them warmly and say something like, I wonder what your brain will invent today. I stood my ground, and here's what I noticed over the years. Every child has roughly what I now call the 10 to 15 minute wall. For about 15 minutes, they would wonder, complain, moan, and tell you that there is nothing to do. I promise you, if you stay strong, if you don't cave, something happens at minute 16. They go to the backyard or to another room and build something that didn't exist 20 minutes ago. Where do you think my kids are right now? My son just brought me this. He made this without any instructions and he was so proud of himself. He said, Mommy, look what I made without instructions. Oops, I think I broke it. The discomfort of the 15-minute wall is not a problem. It is the exact friction required to set their imagination free. When a child's brain hasn't been flooded by high-speed digital noise, reality becomes rich again. My toddler will spend 20 uninterrupted minutes with a single post-it note, feeling the sticky part, discovering what happens when he tears it slowly versus quickly. He's doing physics, he just doesn't know it yet. A child who hasn't been desensitized by screens finds the whole world interesting. A crayon is interesting. A cloud is interesting. A marker cap is 20 minutes of completely absorbed investigation. That is the foundation of a curious, creative, self-directed human being. And it starts not with a curriculum or a program or a class. It starts with you stepping back and letting the empty space do what it was always designed to do. If screens are already a fixture in your home, it will be an adjustment, but it's not too late. A dopamine addiction is powerful, and when the stimulation is removed, the brain protests loudly. Start slow. Reduce overscheduling or screens gradually. Instead of going cold turkey, just create screen-free zones and empty times.
Bluey orders Daddy Robot to tidy up.
Empty time, boredom, is not a wasted time. It is where your children's creativity actually lives. It is where their resilience is built. It is where they discover imperfectly, slowly, beautifully who they actually are. And it is available to every single one of us today. I hope you'll try it. It's magical.